we ready? Dr. Gough, should we start with you? So this panel today, what we're hoping to do is help us all to understand how we can take our wellness to the next level. Last year, we introduced Copaiba to a lot of excitement. This year we've doubled down, and we've introduced it in a capsule form. From your experience, right, it's exciting. From your experience as a medical doctor, share with us what you have learned about Copaiba, some of the results you've seen, and what the new capsule means for all of us.
So last year, when Copaiba was released, I was so excited. Were you guys excited too? Alright. So I love Copaiba. I love that it's such a wonderful essential oil that you can use for active people to promote healthy inflammation and recovery. I like it as an emergency physician. My job's pretty stressful. Flipping back and forth between nights and days takes its toll on the body. I really enjoy being able to use the Copaiba soft gels on a daily basis just to kind of help my body do that transition, get me more calmness, more focus to do my job well. What I really like about Copaiba was the wonderful stories that many people shared with me. Would you like to hear one? Yeah? Okay. So last year, Staff Sergeant Scott was struggling. He had been on multiple deployments and he was having a hard time with many issues brought on from the traumas of war. Unfortunately, modern medicine wasn't helping him, and he was struggling with constant pain and having a hard time being the man, husband, and father that he wanted to be. He had a wife, however, who started to use essential oils. He used to refer to her as the crazy oil lady. But he listened to her. He started to use Copaiba consistently and persistently. After 14 days, these are the words which he said. This is the best thing ever. I will never go back. This is a part of my life now, and I will always have stock in it. And I'm sure he's not the only one who's had a positive experience with Copaiba. It's such a wonderful essential oil. And I am so thankful that we've now got these Copaiba soft gels, which make it even more easier and facilitates using it on a daily basis, making it so we can use this powerful essential oil for our health.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Gough. I think we're all excited to use that product. Danielle, as a clinical social worker, yes, cheer for Danielle already. As a clinical social worker and a doctor of clinical psychology student, how have you used doTERRA in your professional setting to help your patients?
Thank you. I have loved actually using doTERRA. Just kind of a little side note, I've used essential oils over 20 years, and it wasn't until I found doTERRA that I started getting real clinical changes in my practice, and I fell in love. So there is a difference. I will tell you that from just a clinical perspective. There's two different modalities that we use as therapists and psychologists, and they're called, one is called pattern interrupters, and another is called anchors. And so when someone with pattern interrupters, what we do is, if someone's having maybe negative thoughts, or they're trying to create more healthy habits after maybe an addiction, you use something, you choose what that something is to interrupt your patterns, to interrupt those negative thoughts. The other thing is called anchors. And anchors are generally like an object, or in this case a scent, that can anchor you to a safe space. And that might be for children, it's a blanket, or it's a stuffed animal, something like that. So those are two different interventions that we do as therapists. Well, what I have found is essential oils are incredible for these two interventions. And I'll share a little example to kind of give you an idea so you can create your own pattern interrupter and anchor. Number one is, the example I'm going to give you is the psychologist that I worked with actually. She had worked with a guy who had been in a trauma. He had been a first responder at a scene of an accident, and it was so gnarly, that's a California word, by the way, gnarly. Just realized that came out. Got my California here. So anyway, it had been so awful, this accident, that he was having a very hard time processing it. And so during the session, when she finally got her set of essential oils, I was coaching her, and she had him choose which oil before the session to really anchor him in his safe space in that therapy office. And then they went in to do the therapy, but what happened is he chose passion. He just didn't know why, He just resonated with it. So they started doing the session and to process the trauma. And what happened was in the middle of processing it, he went back into that traumatic state, he disassociated from the present, and he started getting a lot of anxiousness. And she grabbed the passion essential oil and said, here. So she used it as a pattern interrupt right then. She just interrupted his brain and what it was doing. He inhaled it, and you know what he thought of? Christmas. Because it reminded him of hot chocolate with a cinnamon stick in it. And so it caused this pattern interrupt that it also anchored him back into that therapy office. And then from there, she said it was incredible. They were able to process the trauma very logically and not in this fight or flight mode.
Yeah, and I love the fact that it was able to do both of those interventions. It's fantastic, essential oils. Paul, you're the founder / coach of a very successful rugby club, Tiger Rugby. Your athletes need to be in tip-top shape. What do you use, and how do you use doTERRA products with them to keep them in that shape?
Yes, so we've been fortunate to form a really good relationship with doTERRA and Tiger Rugby. And honestly, essential oils and what they bring to an athlete is absolutely crucial. Our guys will travel from all over the world, get together a week before the tournament, and therefore they end up doing 2 trainings every day. They're working really hard, and what we give them is we give them a pack, essentially, of 4 oils, along with Correct-X and Deep Blue. 4 oils that we give them are peppermint, eucalyptus, wintergreen, and lavender. The reason we've chosen those oils, peppermint is just great all around, whether you're playing at altitude or wherever, to open up the airways, get blood flow going, get the guys alert, get their focus so that the work we put in can really be top-notch and on point. Wintergreen we give them, and we actually have our athletic trainers, massage therapists use that with the Deep Blue post-games and post-trainings to basically help with any knots and things to help the body. We always say we have to win the recovery. So wintergreen helps there. Eucalyptus, we found out from the Australian Sports Science Institute, is phenomenal at getting lactic acid out of the muscles. And so when you're playing multiple reps each day, that is crucial to be able to come back. And then again, none of that is worth anything if the body's not rested. So we really make sure that the athletes get the rest they need, and that's where lavender really comes in and helps, especially when guys are dealing with jet lag and all that stuff, to be able to basically compete at the highest level.
Yeah, absolutely. And we love our relationship with Tiger Rugby. Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Snyder, one of your areas of expertise as a functional medicine practitioner is that of fertility and essential oils. Talk to us about that and what you recommend to increase fertility.
Absolutely. So today I want to share my recommended 4 steps to enhancing fertility for preparing to have a baby. So let's start with step number 1, de-stressing the body. You know, we live in a modern world with lots of stresses, and what I've learned is that stress can really be an enemy of enhanced fertility. So the best way to instantly reduce stress levels in the body is to grab an essential oil, we'll talk about some oils in a second, and do some deep breathing exercises. So my go-to oils for reducing stress are going to be Serenity, Balance, Whisper, and the Peace Blend. When you just have those on the ready, you're able to lower those stress levels like that. Number 2 is going to be reducing your toxic load. Now this is important to keep your body welcoming and having a safe environment for potentially having a baby. And the best way to reduce your toxic load is to reduce toxic exposure. And how we do that is by avoidance. Now the best way to avoid toxins is to switch out a lot of the things that you are doing at home. Your cleaning supplies, your medicine cabinet, your personal care, and your beauty products. So I love Barrage, I love the spa items that we have with doTERRA. doTERRA makes such an easy transition to move from toxic stuff over to natural solutions. And then oils for opening those detox pathways are DDR Prime, the Zendocrine Blend, and your citruses. Number 3, your gut microbiome. Let's talk a little bit about how to support that, because your gut is so critical to the health of you and your fertility. First step is really integrating nutrition. So eating gut-healthy foods like fermented foods, green leafy vegetables, the color of the rainbow, and lots of fiber. And then pair in with those gut-loving supplements that doTERRA makes, you have a recipe for success. I know that Boyd and Danielle are going to talk about those in just a moment. Loving your liver is also a big part there, so geranium, zindercrine, rosemary are amazing. And then last, step 4 is supporting your hormones. So your reproductive hormones are so important here. So making sure that you're taking that phytoestrogen complex, your Clary-Calm, and I have an enhanced fertility blend that I'm so excited to share with you. Got your pen and paper? Here we go. So in a 10 ml roller, it is 12 drops of clary sage, 10 drops of geranium, 8 drops of sweet fennel, 5 drops of lavender, and 5 drops of neroli or bergamot. Top it off fractionated coconut oil, apply to the abdomen, bottom of the feet, or whatever serves you. And the big take home with those 4 steps is to integrate those every single day to really create a body that is thriving and increasing that fertility.
Thank you. Did everybody write it down?